Do you wonder how to set up Visual Studio Code correctly and what extensions to install to be more productive? Well, I'm gonna show it to you. You all know the Visual Studio Code app, which is coded and introduced by Microsoft, a text editor, lightweight and fast. But there's also an insiders version. You just go to Visual Studio Code/insiders. This is just the latest release of Visual Studio Code every single day, giving you the opportunity to have more up-to-date features of it, to be more productive and quicker. Note, it might be a little bit unstable because it's not the stable release. I'm gonna install it. Now it's done and you can launch it directly from the installation menu. After launch, it will look something like this. And now I'm gonna show you what extensions you need to install. There are already some installed which I have. One of them is copy JSON path. Install that. Then env. You will work with environment variables a ton of time, and it will add syntax highlighting as well as folding. If you are speaking a different language, you can install a language pack and change the language to Visual Studio Code in the preferences and then in your settings, experience, language. If you're hovering to file, enable autosave will make it that you'll save with every single action within 2 seconds. Git length is very important if you are working on GitHub repositories. What it allows you is to give you informations who coded, who committed, or who pushed what feature in a project. If you're doing many things with HTML and CSS, install CSS IntelliSense or HTML like that. Node.js and npm IntelliSense are usually pre-installed. For my case, I found out that Prisma is one of the best database wrappers, but it doesn't have Prisma highlighting syntax. Therefore, you can install it like that. Same for Tailwind CSS. Something which will enhance your productivity is TODO highlight and TODO tree. Many more things you need to install. Remote SSH. Remote SSH is an official extension from Microsoft. If you go on Remote Explorer and then on Settings and then on your custom settings, can add your own remote servers with an identification, SSR key, custom username, hostname is the IP address, and your host declaration name. If you click on that button, you can connect to one of those remote machines, select its OS, enter the password, or use the passphrase SSH key if provided, and you will be connected to the server. Then you can open folders and workspaces on that server. This makes it possible that you can code externally on different machines with different OSs. Now, since that's a GitHub project, I can show you now Git length once it's enabled. So I'm gonna go back, Git length, and install it via the SSH tool. Some packages needs to be installed via SSH, so yeah. Now it's also installed on that machine. If I go on any file and click on one line, it shows me who did the last commit. I, because I'm logged in with GitHub, last month, and the information. This is very neat and amazing. But as you can see, this theme of Visual Studio Code, that's not sexy. I don't like it. But let's style it the way you want. I'm gonna show you the styling I do because I think this is the best one. One style which I like is the One Dark Pro theme. This is the style from the Atom text editor. You can use the dark one because that's just better. The darker the better. This is the theme the Atom text editor uses. It's nice, but it's not the best in my opinion. So I'm gonna uninstall it again and now install my favorite theme, which is the Horizon theme. I might just use the 55k downloads version because this one includes the Horizon Dark default version, which looks something like this. I don't know what it is, but the background color and the font color is just amazing. Now for the icons, you see my icons are different. That's because I have the material icon theme already installed on my SSH machine, but not on my local machine. I'm gonna install it locally too and set the file icon theme. If you wanna set the icon theme again, you can go into settings, themes, color scheme and select it. Same goes for the file icon theme and product icon theme. You can use the default or browse additional and use any one other made or use the material product icon theme. Now, as you can see, the icon themes from Visual Studio Code have changed because these are the one from material icons. I'm gonna show you the to-do highlight. If I go in a file and type to do in full caps, it shows me that it is like that I can see the highlight to do, and then I can add a comment. I like to split between comment and to do a minus sign, but that's just optional. Now if I go my to-do tree extension, which is here, I can see in my workspace and on bot.js, I can see that highlighted in the tree, so I can check all of my to-dos without having to install a to-do software. That's great, right? Well, there's something more I want to show you. If you are going into settings of Visual Studio Code, you can change the font and the font size as well as some other things. But if you go in text editor cursor, set it to expand or face or the smooth curve animation. If you do this, it will look like that, which is a smooth animation for the cursor, and the way the cursor expands is also smooth. There are so many adjustments you can do inside of your text editor settings. Format on paste, format on save, a different editor. I would recommend to format on paste. You can even adjust the workspace appearance. Here you can again adjust the color theme and the icon theme, the preferred light color theme if you want a light color theme, etc, etc. Now there's one more extension which I used recently, which is called background. It's this extension which allows you to have a background image. So I'm gonna press Ctrl+Shift+E to go to this user settings JSON file. There you can have all of your settings, and you can add background, full screen, enabled image, opacity, size, position and interval. If you want multiple images, you can use the image list as an array of images, or as I want just one image. You can hear all of your custom settings enabled. So that's important for Visual Studio Code to save the settings. Now I'm gonna make a little change in here. For example, change size, and then again it shows it that the background has changed. To apply these settings, you need to restart Visual Studio Code. And now, as you can see, reloading all of the extensions, and now it looks like that. Move with a background behind. The higher the opacity is being set, the less of the background you can see while the code starts to, in my opinion. I like something between 0.94 and 0.97. So I'm gonna go right in the middle, 0.9625, and restart. Now, these are all of the settings you can do with Visual Studio Code. Now I'm gonna show you a couple more features which you need to know in order to be able to code efficiently. First thing is, if you have something, a variable like here, and you want to rename it, press F2 on your keyboard and then rename the variable. It will rename every single reference to it in that file. If you need to add it on multiple lines, let's say you have some JSON data and like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and now you want to add something in front of there. There are two ways. If you press Alt and Shift and click down, you see there are multiple cursors now. Now you can add it across all of the lines. You can copy and paste line individually too. If you would now make a typo, let's say instead of default you have default, and you want to change just the name without doing search and replace, you can highlight it and press Ctrl+T, and then you will select multiple lines, which for my case is quicker than pressing Ctrl+F while being on highlight and typing the correct version in here. This is everything I wanted to show you. Multi-line editing, very important, as well as renaming variables. And I hope you can now file your Visual Studio Code in the way you want, as well as work more efficiently. Enjoy!